today I wanted to speak about something that happened to me. It was in 2018, possibly 2019, I'm not sure. But it was with regards to an artist interaction, right? I did another video where I was speaking about an interaction that happened back in 2017. Didn't end so well, but it was because I was so passive. This one here wasn't the same, but yeah, let me just tell the story. So, well, for the purpose of the story, I'm not going to mention any names. Just know people as the main artist as well as the feature who's going to then be on the track. So the main artist, we set up a session. Main artist usually pitches up on time, right, for his sessions. If he is a little bit late, he does usually let me know. Pitches up at 12 o'clock. Cool. We start recording. We lace the first verse. I think he writes there. Yeah, he writes there, laces the first verse, writes, laces the second verse. We are good. Had the feature pitched during that time, everything would have been perfect. Once we're done with everything, I'm sure maybe an hour had gone by. This guy does work pretty quickly. Now we're trying to contact this guy because we've got stuff to do. We're trying to live our lives. Obviously, we don't want to just be sitting in the studio waiting for this guy. I was like, nah, I'm not too far away. I just need to make a plan. I need to come through. There was a case of I'm coming through, but I'll come through later. It was just a constant case of just hold on. We will be there soon. Cool. 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, must have been 2:30. I was standing outside. We're just having a conversation, myself and the main artist on the track having a conversation. Everything is still cool. Like, we're still chatting, conversing, and I'm thinking to myself, no, man, we're not gonna have this session. We can't. Because if we do, then I'm just gonna end up having to stay there until 5, 6, 7, who knows when. Right. So just before I leave, right, we call it at 3. At 3 o'clock, I'm like, I'm out. We're leaving. At 3, he calls to say we are outside. And I'm like, no way are they coming inside. I'm not allowing them to come inside. So I get a call to my cell phone, right, from the security gate to let people in. I rejected it. And I was like, tell him we will meet him outside. We drove, both of us. We drove to the top. We met them there. Like, people get out the car. There were 3 of them. I think there must have been 2 or 3 of them together. And this guy's high, but like all the way up. He's in the clouds. I'm like, what's going on? It's like, hey man, I got caught up. He's smiling. You can see his eyes are red, and I'm like, wow, this guy's gonna waste my day because he decided he was gonna go on a trip real quick. So I was like, nah, man. And it's not, I don't have a problem with weed, right? Obviously not in this space, just smell and make everything stink up. I don't have a problem with whatever people want to use, as long as don't implicate me in anything. And at the same time, just know yourself that once you've done what you've done, whether you do it in the car, whether you do it on the way here to the studio, when you get behind the mic, that you're going to be somewhat effective, or at least effective, so I give people freedom in that way. But this here is just disrespectful. Like, to arrive there super late by 3 hours, still be high, still be joking, laughing, everything's so cool, no apologies, nothing. I was like, whatever. Got into the car and I took off. So that was must have been the Friday. So we had agreed to meet again the following day, the Saturday. And I remember that meeting was going to be late on in the day. I wanted to give them time to go and perform their shenanigans throughout the day, so that at 5 o'clock we record, we get it in. Cool. Next day comes through. 5 p.m. comes through. The main artist shows up. Everything is cool. We're like, well, there isn't that much for you to do. You recorded and finished everything yesterday. Let's listen to the track. So I listened through the track once or twice. At this point now, we're kind of like, okay, what's going to happen next? Where is this guy? This guy's like, yeah, I'm on my way. Guy pitches up at, must have been 7. So he pitched up an hour and a half from the time, 2 hours from the time that we had agreed to meet up. I was livid already. When the guy came through, he's dapping, shaking hands, we're having conversation and stuff. He's come through with other people. This time he's not high. And he's come through with a friend or two. And I'm like, okay, cool, this is fine. All you need to do is do a hook. In my mind, all I'm thinking is, you just have a hook to do. Let's get it done, and then we can just call it a day. It was going to be one of those Saturdays where Everything was gonna go well. Everything was just gonna be short session. Guy comes in, does his thing, gets out. I chill, right? No. Guy's like, I'm hungry. So I was like, do we really need to do this right now? So people get into the car, they take off for food, and I'm so hacked. Maybe 30 minutes later, they're back. Turns out they'd been drinking throughout all of this process. They had booze in the car, whatever it is. One of the featured artist's friends kept going to the bathroom and was like staying there for a while, right? We've got a bathroom in the old studio. We had a bathroom right next to the place where we recorded, and they kept on disappearing. And I was like, whatever. I didn't want to deal with it. I really didn't want to deal with it. So a lot was going on. They were trying to write. They were trying to get in the mood. They were vibing. They smoked. They had the munchies. So they ate some more. And it was like a party. And I was just like, this is ridiculous. There's 5 of us here. We're doing this thing. And I couldn't get into the vibe of the session. I couldn't become a part of what was going on. I felt like I was not only was I being the engineer, having to play the track back and record little bits and pieces as the people were coming up with them, but at the same time I was entertaining one of the other singers who was also there, who didn't have anything to do on the track, well, I thought. And then I also had to like just keep an ear out for whatever it was that was going on outside there by the bathroom. So even just thinking about this is giving me stress. So we start recording. Now we get into it. We're recording. Everybody's like feeling the magic of the session. Obviously, I'm there. I'm working sober as can be, and I'm like, I just record. Get everything done. Now we get towards the end of the session, and we're just trying to wrap everything up. People are still talking. People conversing. Everyone's happy with what they've done. They're playing the track back, like back to back. They keep on playing the track on repeat, and they're happy with the product that they've got. Now it's time to go. The time must have been, I can tell you now, it was 11 when we decided to leave. We started at 5. Mind you, they had wasted 3 hours of my time the day before. About 11:30, these guys are gone. I even remember the artist was like, hey man, we should work. Handshake, whatever it was pre-COVID, then they left. I remember walking back in and thinking to myself, my gosh, what in the world just happened? I sat down. Obviously this place still, it's still got that lingering thing of people have been here. And I was like, I don't want to clean up tomorrow, so let me just clean up now. And that's generally what I did with the studio, because it was at home. It was a shared environment, so I needed to, respect that. So neaten things up where I could. I was just working in silence. I prefer to do that as well, because I've been listening to music and noise and so much. I kind of just need to decompress, so everything was off. I clean everything up, everything's good. Then I remember the bathroom, and I was like, let me go see what was going on in there. Walk past the bathroom, I walk into the bathroom, and I see the toilet. I see the sink. I walk over to I don't even know how I didn't see the sink initially, but I walked over to the toilet and I saw red, and this might be a bit graphic, but red stuff in the bowl. Like it was like red, but like a dark red. And I was like, what on earth is going on here? And I remember it wasn't a strong smell, but I remember smelling, it wasn't sour, but it was just unpleasant. I was like, what the hell? At that point, my eyes darted to the sink, and I saw that whatever had gone into the bath, into the toilet, had also gone into the sink, right? And, it was all there as well. I was just like, what the hell is going on? This is not like a club or whatever, so we can't just wait for the cleaning staff to come. I couldn't wait for the domestic, worker to come and help me with this. They were only going to come through the following week. So it was on me. 11:30 on a Saturday night. Grabbed one of those buckets, popped some bleach in there, popped some handy in there. I remember the radio was on. I put the radio in the lounge on, and it was playing some radio station, very, very, very soft music. And I was just thinking, how the hell did I get into this situation? Grabbed the mop, started working, because who knows, maybe they cleaned stuff up off the floor, and I just didn't feel good walking on that floor. It wasn't sticky, but I didn't trust it. So I started, with things, wiping surfaces, trying to clean things, wiping things away. And I remember at the end of it, it was super close to midnight. It probably was midnight. It was probably past midnight. I remember just sitting on the couch and thinking to myself, this was no way for anybody to spend their Saturday in their own home after having recorded people who said that they wanted to work with me again. I remember just thinking to myself, no way in hell am I going to work with them again. So, that takes me all the way back. I remember contacting another artist contacting me with the same thing, saying, I want to record, I want to do this, I want to do that, but I want to feature someone on the track. And they mentioned the name of this guy again, him and his troupe, right? And I remember hearing his name and I was like, hell no am I going to record them. And he was like, you're not the first person to say that. Apparently I was like the third. So this person has been moving from studio to studio doing this nonsense, showing up late, friends who mess up the studio space, it's an absolute wreck. And I look at them now and I'm like, your career could be so much further. You've just made so many enemies off of doing very, very stupid, very, very small, stupid things. And yeah, I mean, it's a judgment. It's a judgment on them by me, but I feel very justified. And I felt even more justified when that other person hit me up and they were like, why don't you want to record them? I was like, I just didn't have a great experience with them, and kind of left it at that. So yeah, reputations move. That much I can say. Reputations definitely do move. And I think if you are an artist and you do have certain things that you prefer doing in studio, just make sure you know yourself. Know what you can handle, know how much you can do, know when to call it quits, and know that if you have any problematic friends, please just keep them out of the studio, because it doesn't help anybody. And I'm going to judge you based on the friends that you bring to your studio. Yeah, so if you have any stories like that, I'm sure in the music industry these things happen all the time. So let me know, hit me up, leave something in the comments, and we can keep the conversation going. Peace.